You know, when people ask me what is my favorite movie of all time, I always say the most cliche answer: Snakes on a Plane. That scene where a snake crawls up the toilet and bites this guy's pee-pee is a scene that brought me anxiety every time I went for a piss. No other movie has done that to me. But right in the second place is The Godfather. It's a movie that changed me. It changed the way that I think, it changed the way that I act, it made me a whole other person. I was 12 at the time, and I remember one time, my mother asked me about all the tire caps in my room, and I simply replied, "Mother, I love you, but don't ever ask about my business." However, some people think it's overrated. Like Peter from Family Guy said, The Godfather insists upon itself. What does that mean? I don't fucking know. It's a classic pretentious answer from a wannabe movie critic that shits on popular movies because they're popular, which I always found extremely shallow and stupid. It's popular for a reason, and in the case of The Godfather, it's popular because it's an excellent movie. I mean, you have this guy Vito Corleone, a perfect representation of a humble, hardworking man that's also pretty good at the crime stuff. I mean, that's just a bonus. He likes adjusting his mustache with his ring finger. It shows dominance. Apparently, no Sicilian can reject a proposal on his daughter's wedding day, which is not very smart. I sure as hell wouldn't show my face on the day of the wedding. Who knows what people are gonna ask for? Murder, financial support, sexual services? Vito also enjoys when people call him the Godfather and kiss his hand. I actually think it turns him on. Be my friend? Haha, I guess. The Godfather also has one of the best soundtracks ever. I listened to the whole thing a couple of times. It's fucking good. I've never been to an Italian wedding, but this one sure seems like the real deal. Classic Italian music, lots of dancing and singing, cash being thrown into the silk purse like it's fucking Christmas or something. And most importantly, gabagool! Don Marzini is a man who doesn't like his picture taken. Not because he's the boss of a mafia organization, but because the picture was taken from his bedside. Here we see Luca Brasi practicing his speech to Don Vito. There's a funny story behind this. The actor that played Luca constantly made mistakes in the scene with Vito, and Coppola got the idea to make him seem nervous by shooting this scene. I gotta admit, he's a better man than me. I would hit him with one quick "get the fuck out of here" and casted a physically similar man to him, Tom Hardy. But I loved how they made that scene with Luca and the Don seem natural. First time watching it, I thought to myself, damn, this guy is good at acting nervous. Now we know why. That motherfucker was shitting his pants in front of the great Marlon Brando. The irony is, he fucking nailed his death scene. You would think he was really getting strangulated. He acted out the scene so good when you type the Godfather cast into Google. That's the picture you will get under his name. That's Sonny, Vito's oldest son. Not a big fan of cameras. And finally, we meet Michael, Vito's youngest son, a war hero, the main protagonist of the movie. The wedding is continuing in classic Italian style. The girls are showing just how big the gabagool should be. I don't know if you realize that when Prince Philip was singing "C'è la luna, muze mare," his teeth almost fell out because he was singing too passionately. Props to the man for having that much energy while being 100 years old. The Godfather is one of the most quoted movies ever made. This scene where Michael and Kate are talking about how the fake Frank Sinatra became a popular singer, he said one of the most popular movie lines ever. My father made him an offer he couldn't refuse. The line is still being quoted to this day, but imagine how many times it has been said when the movie came out. I'm sure there wasn't a Christmas that year without somebody's uncle saying that phrase. I liked how that was one of the first impressions Kate had about Michael's family. Like, yeah, Kate, I know this world famous singer. Guess what? My dad helped him with his career by threatening to murder this band leader. Haha. Oh, and that's Fredo, the middle child. Nobody really cares about him. He's stupid. They have another brother Tom, but he's not blood related. He was found by Sonny when he was a kid, and Don Vito brought him into the family. He's Vito Consigliere. The scene when Vito slaps fake Dean Martin because he's a little pussy is also a scene where another famous quote originated from. The man who doesn't spend time with his family can never be a real man. Which I do agree with. Just look at what happened to the guy from Mr. Beast. I just love the wedding part of the movie. It's perfect. There's a perfect balance between joy, happiness, and celebration combined with small elements and details from the mob business. And it ends perfectly with the Don and his daughter dancing while the best melody ever created plays in the background. It insists upon itself. Shut the fuck up, Peter, you're fat. I love the transition Michael had from the start all the way to the end. In the beginning of the movie you have this beautiful Italian young guy that looks approachable and nice, while in the end you have this cold-blooded mob boss. Still young and beautiful though, and still very much Italian. It's this scene where you can clearly see the transition between his two personas. I love how quickly they changed their minds about Mikey's suggestion to kill Solozzo and McCluskey. First they were like, "Hey Mikey, you're not built for this life, hey Mikey, you stupid," and the next scene is Clemenza giving him a gun for the killing. And the actual scene where he pops both Solozzo and McCluskey is one of the best scenes in cinema history. You could see it in Michael's eyes. Should he go through with it? Should he try to keep peace at least short term? Should he just eat his dinner, go back home and have steamy coitus with Kate? But then he was like, nah, fuck that shit, you're dead, bam, you're also dead, I'm off to Italy. And the scene in Sicily are what made me want to go there and become a mob boss. Maybe marry a beautiful Italian woman. It would be preferable if she doesn't blow up in a car. You know, the scenery combined with the greatest soundtrack ever is a recipe for perfection. And to show how quickly things move in Sicily, at the day of his and Apollonia's wedding, he still had a black eye from McCluskey's punch. Michael obviously doesn't fuck around with his time. When we are already talking about black eyes, we can't forget the beating Sonny gave Carlo. Sonny is so powerful that even when he misses, he connects. Sonny's a great guy, man. I'm glad he decided to quit the business and focus on doing carpentry. There were many deaths in the first movie and they were all great. Personally, my favorite was Carlos, at least the most satisfying. Imagine the last thing you ever hear being Clemenza's "Hello, Carlo." I liked Vito's death also. It was somewhat peaceful, playing with his grandson in the garden. In that life, you could only hope for that like that one. It's a perfect movie. The characters, the cast, the scenery, the music, the storytelling, everything's perfect. And just knowing the backstory behind the movie and how it got made, it makes it even better. I would like to end this video with a wonderful quote from this movie that I'm very fond of. A quote that represents life and its beauty. A quote that teaches us everything we should hope and strive for. It teaches us sincerity, integrity, compassion, respect, and responsibility. Here it goes. Leave the gun, take the cannoli.